Hello, everyone. I am Claudiu Murgan, the host of the Spiritual Inspired podcast. Please leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. And now, moving on with my guest today, which is Livia Devi. Livia's mission is to connect souls with their own vision and teach them the art of mastering heart and wealth consciousness, quantum technology, multidimensionality, and co-creation with higher realms. Her mentorship goes beyond conventional methods as she not only brings through her own wisdom and experience, but the eternal and infinite wisdom and experience of her spirit guides and the Arcturian Council of Light. Uh, Thank you very much, Livia, for joining me today.
Thank you, Claudiu, for inviting me. It's such a pleasure to be here with you and with your community and just having a beautiful conversation. I'm very excited.
Yes, so we both have Romania as a country of origin for this particular existence. So you are my third co-national I'm interviewing, all women so far. So I'm really glad that I can bring forward Romania and the nuggets of wisdom we have in Romania and people who develop themselves spiritually, some before and after 89 and some after 1989. So I would like to ask you when exactly your spiritual journey started, before and after, if you take that date as a reference.
Yeah, I feel very blessed of being born in Romania because Romania is such a holy land. It's a very powerful spiritual place. And I think like everything happens for a divine reason. And the way I was born in Romania and how I was guided through my life actually, allowed me to learn so many things about our country. And I truly believe that this land here is offering so many opportunities of evolution and ascension. And my journey started after in 1989 or 1990s. Actually, my journey started in 2016. And at that time, I was living 6 months in San Francisco and 6 months in Ireland. So my base was in Ireland, but I was working for an IT corporation and I was relocated in Palo Alto, in Silicon Valley. And it was such an incredible time because, you never expect what is going to happen when you are meant to actually step into your soul mission, when you are meant to fully come out in the world and share your gifts and talents. And for me, it was a very unexpected awakening that happened in 2016. And it was something that I didn't plan at the conscious level, but I definitely chose this journey at the soul level. And yes, it was very powerful because it was unexpected. I was completely in the third dimensional matrix. I was a very successful executive in the corporate world. I didn't ever imagine that I'm gonna access levels of myself and I'm gonna awaken to a world that is multidimensional in kind, and I'm gonna have experiences with higher realms of existence and the higher councils of light. But when that happened, it was a very interesting journey. My life completely changed in 2016, and I felt like someone, which probably was my higher self, just pressed the reset button in 2016 because I went through this major awakening and a major realization. And it is a long story like connected to this, but long story short, I completely changed my life. I let go of my past, if I can say like that, past identities. I resigned for my job. And I started to actually completely be in my soul mission and activate light leaders and new earth leaders in their soul mission with the Arcturian Council of Light, which is a 7-dimensional consciousness civilization. And we can go in so many details, but just to answer to your question, everything actually happened. I think 2012 was a very powerful year where millions of people on this planet start awakening. And it was a very powerful year of receiving higher frequencies of light and plasma light frequencies. There was a reset at the planetary level in 2012. And, I think like many light workers and many people that are actually meant to pioneer some timelines for humanity and where we are going as a human race were awakened drastically. Like for me, I didn't have time to actually contemplate or even agree with that. It was just someone pressed the reset button, I had to awaken, and I had to go through my journey in a very fast way. Being able to actually be here now and serve the way I'm serving right now. So
yeah, so thank you for accepting your mission. And looks like we go through this template that we have to go through a job, either it's a lawyer, a doctor, IT, and then suddenly we are fed up with that. We understand that it's at a certain level meaningless, and we have to switch into our soul's purpose. And again, I'm glad that you didn't reject it, because most of the people are brutally awakened to this reality, and they say, no, this is not for me, I'm not ready. And they postpone it and postpone it, and then maybe they are in their 50s and 60s when they think it's too late and the soul just gives up. So again, I'm glad that you moved on. And again, you are young, so maybe that was one of the drivers for you to continue on this path.
I feel like for me, it was also, so in 2016, I will just share a little bit with you my story. I was working for a company in Palo Alto in the IT industry, and I was back in Ireland where I was currently living. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, I woke up, I opened my laptop. I was supposed to have a meeting with 25 people that I was managing, and I fainted on the couch. I woke up 1 hour later. And I start to hear like millions of people speaking in my head without being able actually to understand any message. It was like a lot of noise. And, my journey is like, in that moment, I called like the GP, the general practitioner that I have, to see her because I don't know what happened. I called my manager and say, hey, I'm currently going through, I think I have a burnout. I don't know exactly what's going on with me because, that version of me was very logical, very practical, very, very grounded in that logic and the mind settings, And I called my manager and I said, hey, like, I think I need to sort myself out because something is wrong. I told him the reality that I'm hearing millions of people in my head. And he was like, kind of, okay, just go and sort yourself out. So I went and I see this lady, the GP, and, she didn't help me. And then I I sent text messages to all my friends to ask for help that someone can help me with. And a friend of mine recommended me a doctor. And I didn't know that a doctor was a psychiatrist. And I said, okay, maybe something broke inside my mind and I have a mental problem. Maybe something is happening. I might go and see this guy. So I went and I see the psychiatrist. And I was the most luckiest person in the world, but I don't believe that luck exists. I believe that alignment and precision within the mathematical equations of the universe exist, because this guy, he was not only a psychiatrist within a mental institution, but he was an awakened human being that lived in Tibet for 10 years, that he was a Reiki master, that he was within the Taoist tradition. And actually, after his huge journey within Nepal and Tibet and, going deep within the Eastern philosophy and also his life experience, he came back to Ireland and started to reform the entire mental institution he was working, because he realized that half of the patients that were under medication were having and showing awakening symptoms. So he was actually training the psychologists and doctors on that they were working at that place, teaching them and introducing new ways of actually holding space for those people. And I met this guy, and I was in his office. I was speaking for about 20 minutes with him. He didn't say a word, and I was asking a bunch of questions. And then he suddenly said, "Hey, Livia, there is nothing wrong with you. You are just awakening." And I remember that I was looking at him, not understanding what awakening is, because I didn't have any clue what this is. I was completely in the matrix, I was completely not spiritual. I don't know what yoga is. I didn't meditate in my life. I didn't know what was truly going on. And, and he's like, I'm awakening. And I'm like, What do you mean? I am awake. I'm speaking with you. What is that? I was not even understanding the concept of awakening. And, you know, he actually helped me. He said, come here every week, maybe twice a week, and let's have a conversation. The only thing I can help with is explaining what's going on with you. And in this way, your mind will actually calm down. And this is what I did. I took a journey with him. I was not working for 6 months. The company I was working is like, because I was such a good employee and I was saving so many millions of dollars for them, they were like, we give you a leave 6 months. We are paying your salary every month. We want you back because you are excellent and we want you back to continue working with us. So I went on this journey with this guy, with the psychiatrist, with this incredible person. He was just so far beyond than this title, you know, like he was a completely awakened human being. And for me, it was like an angel and earth guide that actually helped me introduce me to this world that I was accessing it. I didn't know how to navigate it. And at some point in time, after 6 months, I start to connect, like I start to hear voices in my head. There were one from the Arcturian Council of Light, one from the Sirius Council, one was my higher self, and one was my ego. So all those noises of millions of people like streamlined into 4. And this is when my journey started. This is when I realized, hearing these councils and hearing their teachings and hearing their guidance, I realized how big this is. And I realized that I have to walk this path that I am actually placed on. And I remember I went back, you know, after 6 months, my manager was calling me, hey, how do you feel? Do you want to come back? We are missing you. We want to start working. We have this big project. And I remember going back and saying to them, I had a meeting with my manager and I told him the truth. The truth is what I was feeling deeply in my heart, because I was completely activating my heart consciousness, and what I was receiving from the higher councils of light. And I told him, hey, like, I can't go back. I need to resign, because my mission on this planet is to activate light workers in their soul mission. And I'm receiving information from a higher consciousness, from higher civilizations, you know, that they are ETs, they are not on this planet, you know, they live they are interdimensional beings. And of course, you know, he looked at me like he didn't understood anything, but, you know, I think everything was meant to be in that way, my journey. And it was a moment where, you know, I didn't have any fear compared with so many people that actually are going into that point and then they pull back because they are afraid of how to move forward with that. And to be honest, in my case, I didn't have any fear. I had so much love and trust and connection, and I felt so held by these higher councils. And I felt like this is what I have to do in this life. This is what, if I felt like if I don't do this, I'm not gonna fulfill my purpose on this planet, you know. So this is how everything started. And I was trained by the Sirius Council of Light for 1 year every day. You know, people often ask me, it's like, who do you train with? Who were your mentors? And I said, I didn't have a mentor in physical form. My mentors were Sirius Council of Light. They are from the star system Sirius, which is Sirius A, B, and C. And they were from Sirius B, from the 12th dimension. I learned that, like, they actually shifted my consciousness in 1 year as for other people in 40 years. And they downloaded like code and data in my consciousness for me to be able to do this mission and transmit these teachings that I'm currently doing until the rest of my life, you know? So, and then after 1 year of training with the Sirius Council of Light, I became a trans channel for the Arcturian Council, because the Sirians actually helped me and shifted my consciousness and prepared me to be a trans channel. I'm a full body trans channel. The Arcturian Council is flowing through me, and, you know, my voice is changing. They use like quantum technology, and they do sign language and light language frequency. They bring all this technology and who they are, their civilizations, through me. So this is in a nutshell how everything started.
Wow, such a beautiful story. And again, it's not luck, as you said. It was meant for you to meet that psychiatrist, because I have other guests coming on this podcast saying that the moment they went to a psychiatrist and tell them about their problems and what they hear and what they see, they're put in a straitjacket. So again, you found the right angel, as you call him, to help you move forward. And also, I'm glad that you kept a honest heart when you went to talk to your manager, and you're quite open to him, even if he didn't understand a thing of what you said, but you stayed in your power, you stayed in your truth, and you kept a clear conscience by doing that. So I think all of us will have to face this reality at one point and go into whatever manager or job or family members and tell them, you know what, this is my mission, this is what I have to do moving forward, and you have to support me, or otherwise I'm going to be on my own, but I have to do it. Pretty much what Yeshua did on his own mission when he was ostracized by the society, you know.
Yes, and it's so interesting because when I went and I spoke my truth and I stayed in integrity with who I am and with my values and with how the importance of what I'm doing, even if they, my manager and, the vice president of the company didn't understood on the moment, they actually felt, like I had a conversation with the vice president of the company because, after my manager called his managers, like, we have to have a conversation with her because she's not coming back, So I met this guy, and he's a Indian man, and India always had some different Eastern culture and history and philosophy. They always had like a different way of understanding reality, right? It's embedded in their DNA. So when I went and I actually spoke my truth and I said the same thing, he actually said like this: I don't understand anything what you are saying. I don't know what Sirius and Arcturians and what you are doing. But when I'm tuning into you, I truly feel that this is what you have to do. And, like, this is like, he actually felt into his heart and he was open in that moment. They let me out with how a redundancy package or something like that, like it really literally gave me money and supported my mission, so it was no fight, it was no resistance. And even if they don't understand, and this is something that, our audience, they have to actually remember that people might not understand, but they will feel. And if you are speaking your truth, and if you are in integrity with yourself, and if you are fully trusting who you truly are, then they will receive it effortlessly. Maybe their mind, the mind will always fight, but the heart will always be open. So, and I feel like as a species and where we are heading as a human race, this is the way that we are riding, the waves and the frequencies of the heart consciousness. And, how important this realms is, because we are moving, from the third dimension, which is very mental based, and we are living our reality from the structures and the programming of our mind. We are actually going down into our heart consciousness, and we start to access so much more of what reality is and who we truly are as beings.
Yes. And Livia, you mentioned that after 1 year of training, you felt in your mind, in your brain, the 4 streams of information, and one of them was your ego. How did you handle the ego? Because that's the main problem we have these days. And a very simple example, I'm going through that procedure which Jerry Sargent, we both know him, mentioned that you have to go in a cold shower twice a day. So your mind will tell you, don't go into the cold shower. But your heart or whatever outside your ego just has to go in, turn on the knob, and start breathing. So how did you handle the ego portion of that phase in your life?
When you get activated in your soul mission, the mind takes a secondary role. So the heart leads and the mind executes and serves. So in that way, the ego, also for me, part of my training, the Arcturian Council of Light, is wiping out a lot of programming from the third dimension when it comes to power, money, fame, status, and public validation, because they knew how big my mission is, and they knew that I'm going to be in front of hundreds and thousands and millions of people. So they had to deprogram and completely deactivate things that, I will be seduced from the third dimensional reality, right? So, in order to be fully on service. So for me, it was an easy run because they just wiped programming out, and then I was just embodying a new version of myself. They shifted my consciousness, and I embodied a version of myself. But then, the training that they let me with, like the advice and, how this become an integrated, embodied part of my experience is meditation. I'm meditating every day. I'm breathing consciously. I'm living consciously. I'm eating consciously. I'm not living in the past or the future. I am present in this moment now, and I am bringing all my attention and energy and focus in this moment. So in order for us to actually observe, because this is where we are in our ego and we take actions from the ego when we are in a reaction mode and we are not able to actually respond or interact with our reality. But how we can change that is to take a step back and observe, zoom a little bit out from your reality and tune in what is truly in alignment with you, like what truly, because the mind will want different things. We are always saying that it's a hungry mind, right? That wants to consume, that wants to do different things. So what we need to do is to really go back and ask ourselves, do I really need to do this? Do I really need to go on that road? Do I really need to react in that way? Do I really need to eat that food? Because this is where discipline comes into form. And I'm a very disciplined human being, and I teach about this discipline, because when you are committed to your soul mission, you need to have devotion and discipline, and to take an observer role, and to truly and train yourself to become a vessel of light for the fifth dimensional consciousness to actually be streaming fully through you, because it's not given. Like we are not learned, like we are not taught in our educational system, we are not taught in the families, we are not introduced to this entrainment from a very young age, as our children will be, and our children will be entrained in the fifth dimensional schools and in their families that coming from conscious parents and stuff. But we didn't have that thing. So for us it's a little bit harder because we had to discipline ourselves, to discipline everything that is all the thoughts and ideas and everything, and stay in our center and in the 0 point field, because it's where the center is, stay present.
Yes, it's quite hard, as I talk to other guests, to stay in balance and in center with so many distractions and bigger or small, depending on how you view them. But from food, you mentioned food. Even food is hard to maintain a strict diet and put good food into your body, because you see some sugary stuff, and I'm going to Romania soon, and I know they make amazing cakes. It'll be very hard to stay away. I have to try them, but I will still have to contain myself and refrain myself for gorging on them. I mean, it's just a little bit here, a little bit there, not to offend people. But again, I'm trained right now, but I have to bring that training forward and explain to them that, what, I am on this path. I cannot mess up what I've started, because I have to work harder than to realign myself. And I think that's the hardest part, also the environment, because it's pulling us in all directions.
Yes, and I feel like if you indulge yourself in eating food in grace with your family, like this is not gonna count. But what I'm actually saying is that there is an agenda behind how people are actually poisoned with sugar and like so much toxins, and the food that is available for us nowadays. In Romania is better, but United States, everything is sugar. Like they put sugar in the water, like everything is filled with sugar, and people are getting, when you getting unhealthy, and this is how the system works. You get unhealthy, you go to the pharmacy, you buy your thing, you buy your health insurance, and then you are part of the system, right? So in order for us to actually consciously, exit the system, it's not only, leaving your job, because this is not gonna help. What is like your daily choices and how you are navigating your reality every day what do you choose for yourself, what foods you choose to ingest, like what thoughts you choose to think, what air are you breathing, like how are you relating to your reality, how do you relate with your family and friends and your children, like how much quality time you spend with yourself. Like these are things that people can do every day. And I know it's a very busy life. I know people that they are trading, they're trading like time for money, or time for being successful, or there are so many sacrifices that people do, but they actually don't understand that they can actually create what they want to create, but in a different way. And I feel like there's also the frequency of this planet is creating, like, people that are awakening and are taking the journey and are going and shifting from the third to the fourth to the fifth dimension and even higher. They have an easy, graceful life. And the ones that are still in struggle and pain and hustling and grinding and, like working hard and creating resistance, they are making their life even harder for themselves. So in the end, it's all it's coming back to choice. Like we have a choice, we have free will on this planet, how we are exercising every day how we create our reality. So we have to exercise our free will more often, because we have been programmed to not think for ourselves, but let others think for us, like hence the government and all the systems within the third dimensional matrix. So we have to actually start to think for ourselves, make our own decisions, become sovereign and empowered, and then our life will gracefully change. So yeah,
I agree 100% with you, and don't get me started on the government. So Livia, have the Arcturians activated additional strains of DNA on your body?
Yes, they did. And it's not only that, there are additional strands of DNA. My full light bodies are activated, my crystalline light body, diamond light body, rainbow light body. I have seen how my physical body have shifted, like my body has changed in time and space as we quantum shift into different realities. Actually, everything is changing from our avatar body to our perception of reality. The Arcturian Council is fully merged with my consciousness. So they are not separate of me. We are one unit, we are oneness. We are in unity consciousness, and this is how I'm able to bring them forth and transmit their teachings and technologies to the world. Yes, I'm excited, because the changes that are happening at the DNA level is actually activating, higher abilities of navigating quantum time-space continuums, because now people are actually moving from linear existence. So people in the third dimension are very much creating their realities by default and being in this linear existence. And when we shift from the linearity, we start to actually get activated, and we shift into understanding, start to see different realities in the same time and different frames of existence in the same time. And we start to actually connect with a higher level of consciousness that is us, and becoming, more activated and more aware and more embodied, and, going higher and higher and higher, because the more we actually clear densities from the physical body, the more our vessel is able to integrate and hold higher frequencies realities. So we are moving from linear time into quantum time, which is circular.
And when you and when you mention quantum technologies, are you referring that we're going to be able to bilocate very soon?
Biolocation is something that, we are already doing that with our consciousness. Like we are not doing with the physical body because there is no need of that, and this is something that it's a teaching from the Arcturian Council that they have been, they taught me at the very beginning, is that, we don't need to shift our physical bodies. They are shifting our consciousness, and we quantum shift in time and space. And then we download our consciousness in a different version of our physical body from a parallel or alternate reality. So we don't need to move the body in time and space. We move consciousness, and then we access past, present, future realities and different alternate and parallel realities. It is easier than, taking our bodies with us. Why do we need this body? Because in the end, this is what is teaching us, going in the higher realms of existence, how we are evolving as a human race and as a species. the evolution is like letting go of the density. And the last part of our ascension process, when, you know, it's the physical body, is the last layer that is ascending. It's not the first layer, it's actually the last one. So the physical body density is, this is why people are, you know, within the ascension process, they have like different body pains and so on, because there is a clearing that is happening at the cellular level. So all the density and trauma and like different DNA codes, that ancestral lines and the different experience are stored at the cellular level. So the cells are becoming lighter, and the body, in order to shift with us in the biolocation thing, if you want to biolocate, the body has to be translucent. So it doesn't have to be physical. A body in the third dimension will never biolocate. A body in the fifth dimension will biolocate if it's necessary. But the way I see, you know, interdimensional communication, the interdimensional travel, how these beings are actually moving in time and space, they just move their consciousness. And this is how, you know, people are always saying, oh, they were going to come one day with these big spaceships that we'll all see it on the sky and we will be saved. But the thing is that they don't use physical matter spaceship. They use, you know, light spaceships, which is made from frequency, and they are powering their spaceships at will. So they are driving with the wheel, they don't have buttons, you know, the way we press buttons. It's not even organic technology. There are civilizations in the fifth dimension that they use organic technology, holographic technology. The Arcturian spaceships are all frequency and light technology and color technology and plasma technology. But even the plasma is not liquidy anymore. In the fifth dimension, they use a liquid, but in the seventh dimension, they don't use liquid anymore. So yeah, I think I know. I hope I answered
very
you.
interesting. Yes, and it makes sense that we are energy bodies. I mean, our essence, our soul is energy, and we have to leave the 3D avatar behind, and we can go anywhere we want. And when we move to a different reality, and we make a change with our consciousness in that reality, will the butterfly effect manifest in all realities or only on that particular reality?
I feel like this is with the butterfly effect, it will manifest in all realities, because everything is interconnected. You know, like you can't how to say you can't contain how everything is impacted in the quantum field. You know, like everything is in a continuous movement and evolution. So in this case, everything within the matrix of existence is impacted. And, you know, I love this question, and I love how the quantum physicians and, you know, they are actually going and checking and experimenting on this. But, you know, it's a ripple effect that's happening, and it's changing the fabric of reality, and it's changing past, present, future realities, and it's changing, you know, it's changing matter into a different expression of time and space. So, you know, the events are changed. So, and you can't undo and because, you know, the reason you can't go back and change things is because this is not how the universe evolution works. The universe evolution is forward, not backwards. Nobody goes backwards, because it's just, you know, like, there are so many people that you know, you can go and change an event in the past, and that will ripple effect into the future. But what the current event, you know, every event creates an infinite stream of timelines and probabilities. So then, you know, it's like when you change an event in the past, that there is an infinite stream of how everything will be changed. So, you know, we always see in these science fiction movies and stuff how, you know, you go in the past and change an event and it's like completely contained and it's changing the future, but this is not how it works. And the source energy will never go back and change things. You know, they are always looking, you know, in how we can move forward and how we can actually entrain ourselves into this evolutionary process and understand more about this now more than what has been and what is in the future, because everything is happening in the now. We can actually change everything and, you know, like explore quantum realities in the now.
Yes, it's fascinating. And I really want that all of us can reach that level of understanding of these technologies and concepts and way of living, because in the end, we have to increase our level of consciousness. And I've been saying this for many years, because only then we will be able to evolve. And the moment you understand them, yes, any job will be menial, will be meaningless, and you don't want to go back to that because it's just a waste of your time and life. So yes, you are right.
Yes, and like people believe, like people are sticking with their job and like with the safety and security because they believe there is only one reality and one life. And if they let go of that, what is going to happen with them? But once you tap into this quantum consciousness and you understand how you are creating reality, because actually everyone creates, even the ones that are not awakened, even the ones that are awakened and conscious, they do create. The first ones create by default, the other ones creates deliberately. But when you actually go and let go of all these strings and all these attachments towards physicality and identity, and find the safety and security within, this is when you actually activate your power. And this is when you realize that there is such a big field of opportunity in front of you that it was always in front of you, but you didn't see it. And suddenly you start to see through the lenses of perception that are becoming even wider. It's like instead to look through one lens of perception and see only in front of you, start to actually see in multiple ways at the same time. So then, many people are actually exploring consciousness and are being empowered into going into these new realities and creating for themselves, because, they are called it at the beginning, magic or synchronicities or coincidences or miracles. But then what truly is alignment within the quantum field. Everything in the quantum field, that there are mathematical equations, there are grids of existence. It's nothing magical. It's just alignment. It's just precise mathematical equations. It can be very technical. I love technicality because I'm an Arcturian soul. So when it comes to technology, I can spend hours in the quantum field, like drawing technology and connecting and downloading and just being there, but everything is precise alignment. And whatever doesn't flow is because you are not aligned. Whatever flows is because you are in alignment. Once you master this, everything becomes easy and effortlessly, and there is grace and flow and excitement. Because when we incarnated on this planet, we said, okay, we are gonna forget who we are and our incredible abilities, but we are gonna actually awaken and activate ourselves and create heaven on earth. We didn't say like we are just gonna go be in the sleep mode for the rest of our life and we are just gonna have a linear existence and that's it.
Yes.
And we will pray at the end of the life that there is a God and we are going to go in heaven, not in hell. What I mean? Like this was not what we have told us before incarnation. We actually told us a different story. So yeah, when people actually realize that this field is such an incredible field of co-creation and opportunity, and everything can turn from frequency into matter and from matter into frequency, then this world is they will realize that this world is an incredible playground. Yes. And this is what it is.
Yeah, it's just the fear of letting go of what we know and embracing what we don't know, having faith and knowing. Because I recently read something about you don't have to believe, you have to know. And if you know it into your bones and your heart, it is going to happen. But you have to, again, let go. And I had the experience where in a vision, I was holding a metal bar very tight and I was afraid, and I was told, let go and God will pick you up, you won't fall. So I had to let go, and it was a beautiful experience. I still have to learn more to let go from other aspects of my life, but overall I am getting the hang of it, if I can use that term, and I think it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And many people, they only want to let go when they see what is awaiting for them on the other side. But actually the way it works is like you actually jump into the unknown and you fully trust that God will actually catch you, because, you know, God and source consciousness and your higher self is placing a net there. You are not going to fall,
Yes.
but you have to actually, you know, like have the courage to jump, even knowing that will not be a net. And you, without when you don't even expect, the net is there, and it has always been. This is how loved we are, actually, you know.
Yes, yeah. Livia, I would like to switch subject to Hawaii. I was exposed to Hawaii back in 2018, I think, when I took a shamanism course with Hank Wesselman, who was an anthropologist turned shaman. And I had a very interesting experience with him during the course, and he wrote a trilogy, Vision Seeker. And he's supposed to publish a fourth book, but he passed away a couple of years ago. But the book in the end was published by his also late wife now, Jill, this year. And I also wrote in two of my books about Hawaii, the experience of the land, the energy of the land. I would like to know your experience. What attracted you there? What if you met Pele, you know, the spirit of the volcano, and anything else you can share with us, please?
Thank you for asking this, because Hawaii is such an incredible place in the world, and that's a living consciousness. Like, everything is breathing life in that place. Like the ocean is alive, the mountains are alive, the sand, the dolphins and whales and turtles and everything is breathing life. And, you know, I have lived in all Hawaiian islands. My favorite is the one that you are showing in the background, which is Kauai. And, you know, Kauai, for example, all these islands, actually, why they are so incredible is because they are holding the information, the data and codes and the blueprint of Lemuria. So this is where the Lemurian teaching civilizations and codes and codexes exist. And Lemuria is very important in this time for our evolution as a species, because we are moving towards the fifth dimensional new earth consciousness and new earth timelines. And the new earth is actually created based on the Lemurian blueprint. So many light workers are actually sent on the beautiful islands of Hawaii to activate the Lemurian grids. And, you know, by activating, they are creating the quantum field, new timelines and new realities for a new earth, that which is fifth dimensional in kind and in form. You know, it's not only a state of consciousness, it's an embodiment, it's a living existence. Fifth dimensional earth does exist right now as we speak. So what we do now in the fourth dimensional bridge, we actually cross people from the third into the fifth. And through this evolution of consciousness, I'm going to go back to Hawaii, but there is the channel information coming back now through the evolution of human consciousness, where, you know, as we said earlier about with the physical body ascension, when the physical body ascension is merging completely with the light bodies and become more translucent, we are shifting our consciousness into fifth dimensional new earth. But we can't let a part of ourselves and move our consciousness here, because there are strings and connections. Anyway, back to Hawaii. Hawaii is an incredible place. You know, it's there for millions of years, have seen many seasons and many civilizations. The Polynesians came to Hawaii, and, you know, this is where the Hawaiian people are actually, they build their history and culture. There is a symbiosis between the Hawaiian people and the interdimensional portals that exist on these islands. So there are, you know, on the big island of Hawaii, you know, beyond the Mauna Kea, Mauna Loa, and the volcanic mountains, Pele consciousness and everything, there's a cave system in Hawaii, which are portals of traveling from one island to another. So there is a portal in Kauai that connects the Hawaiian people were using to actually teleport themselves, if I can say like that, into the big island. So when I was in Kauai and I was living there, I was working with some kahunas, which are local priestesses that are carrying Lemurian codes, and they are carrying like teachings from when Hawaiian people were co-creating their existence with the star civilizations, especially Sirius and Arcturus. Arcturus, it's a zenith star for Hawaii. So the Polynesians actually they arrived in Hawaii because of the Arcturus star, because Arcturus was actually guiding their path. When they were seeing the arc to Arcturus, they knew that they arrived in Hawaii. So Hawaiian people were incredible navigators. They knew the star maps and the star systems incredibly. And, they were navigating their canoes. So they were sailing with their canoes. They didn't have like boats that we have right now. So they were incredibly connected with the ocean consciousness, with the earth consciousness, with spirit. Spirit is very present there. That there are many guardians and there are many beings that are actually holding the energetic field of Hawaiian Islands, like Pele and other beings that, the Hawaiian people prayed for and gave, are doing rituals and prayers for thousands of years. So Hawaiian Islands, it's an ecosystem in between those 7 islands. Every island is very different to one another, but they are interconnected. For example, Kauai, there is a rainbow frequency. You can see rainbows every day there, but more than that there is like a field, like a sphere around Hawaii, around Hawaii. And there is a lot of UFO activity there because there are portals, interdimensional portals. So you always see on the sky, like spaceships and activity, Then we have Maui, where I lived, for another year. I lived like for 2 years altogether in Hawaii. I'm currently here in Romania, but we are going to go back. So Maui, it's another portal. Maui, the spirit of Maui is a very masculine frequency. It's a god, the god of Maui, that he is very much, embodying the frequency of the of the mountain that exists there. Haleakala. I used to have a house in Haleakala at 4,000 feet. And the frequency of Maui is very powerful. It's like a very masculine frequency. Then there is Oahu, which is the gathering of the tribes. Oahu means gathering of the tribes, where all the tribes from the Hawaiian Islands were meeting in Oahu. And that was a training spot for the royalties from all Hawaiian Islands. They were going and training there to become kings and queens. And the queens were giving birth in Oahu. There are some incredible birthstones, like the portals and, what exists on these islands is just next level. It's just incredible. And there are other islands there as well, which are absolutely amazing. So many things to share, but Hawaii is a really powerful place, not only because, it's so interconnected, but because when you step onto that land and you are awakened, you actually plug into the 5th dimensional consciousness straight away because of the Lemurian frequencies. So it's a journey, an invitation. Everyone is receiving from Hawaii the experience that they are ready to receive. The deeper you go within yourself, the deeper you will actually receive from the Hawaiian Islands. There is always a gift for you there. And there is always like portals and awakening and realizations and insights and connection points. Yeah.
You make me cry. I have to be there now. Thank you for sharing, because it gave me goosebumps just listening to you about this natural and alive beauty we have on Earth. And I want to ask you, what happened in Maui recently? Was that just a power grab for the 3D people, or they were trying to destroy the traditions and certain portals and certain way of thinking of the Polynesian people?
I feel that colonialism and what happened on different islands, around the world, and how, cultures actually had been lost is a problem, a real problem. What happened in Maui, and actually I was there on the 8th of August when the fire started. It was a very interesting experience, but it goes a little bit beyond of the world agenda, like the one world agenda, okay, and what these governments are trying to create goes a little bit beyond that. Well, on the 8th of August, it was the Lionsgate portal. The Arcturian Council of Light like asked me to open a portal on the 8 o'clock in the morning, and I did that, and I closed it at 7 o'clock. They were telling me it's like this. They said, this is the message. They said, they are calling me Elva. They don't call me Livia, because Elva is my higher self name. And they said, Elva, you will witness a purification on this island. People will be scared, and will be a lot of contrast that will come in your reality. You will be safe, and everything will rebirth from ashes. And I didn't understood what that is, like I had no idea. Then I closed the portal at 8 o'clock, and the fires were burning all over the island. So, there were fires in Kula where I lived, and there were fires everywhere. There were fires in Lahaina. Lahaina was burning to a crisp there. It had the entire town burned to a crisp. I went out on the lanai of my home. I had this beautiful Japanese home, like with a huge lanai, like a huge balcony. And I was staying from the top of the mountain from Haleakala, seeing how the entire island at the 8 o'clock in the evening was burning and was on fire. And it was like the most apocalyptic view I ever seen in my life. And, I was terrified by this change. And, it's an interesting, complex thing that happened in Maui, because in the third dimension, what happened in Maui is what we see and what truly is. People lost their lives. People lost their land. People are losing their culture. The Hawaiian people are now awakening massively in Maui. They are fighting for their rights. They are not accepting anymore what happened. They're not going to sell their lands. They are not going to say yes that they have said for so many years. They will not let anymore, to more of them to be killed the way 1 million people of Hawaiian people had been killed, when these islands were occupied. So what is happening is an entire rebirth and transformation at a collective level in Maui. People are awakening, and they see that what's going on can't continue. And I seen, like, because I've been there. I lived that experience. I went into the shelters with my husband. We donated. We helped a lot of people. We supported the light workers community. Like, we were 100% on the ground involved in that. And I've seen how drastically it was like this event awakened those people, and how they start to become interested of how they can regain back what they lost, but not how they can regain back the life that were lost, or the houses that were burned, or the land that was not, the insurance company doesn't want to give them the money back for, because that's it's an entire thing happening there. They actually, they want to reclaim back their values, their culture, their language. And this is energetical reclaiming, and the cultural level reclaiming is going to create on the Hawaii a different way of living. And, I feel like, what this was very interesting is that Hawaiian people always, somehow fought and not aligned and not accepted the white people. So if you are white in Hawaii, you are not, you are not Kamaina, you are not like, you are not part of them. And there was also always a hate, what have you done to us in the past, that was kind of projected on every white person, and what happened through this event, everything came back together. Like Hawaiian people and the white people, and they started to actually feel what unity consciousness is. They actually start to feel how is to be held by your neighbor that is white. How is to, like, there was such a unity and connection, and like people coming together, no matter of the color of your skin, race, culture, belief system, values, like coming together. It was a moment in time where people had to come together. And this is what what moved their hearts. And I feel like, the hate and the projection and everything that they were actually rejecting so much people. Now I feel like there is a unity, and it's like, we want to save our land, we want to save our culture, we want to co-create with people that wants to help us. So they are open to receive help. They are not isolated in communities, because in Hawaii, people were living in communities. Like Hawaiian live only with Hawaiian people. I've been there, and I know how they live, and how exclusive they are. They are not inclusive. But I think this event, especially in Maui, changed the fabric of the reality. And I've seen that openness in their hearts. And it's so interesting. It's like, you would say that an event like this will make them even more angrier and even more, like resentment and even more bitter, but actually made us more softer in a way that is more stronger. They became vulnerable in a way that's like, we know what to do now. So it's amazing to witness that entire thing at the multidimensional level, like in the third, fourth, fifth, like seeing the entire picture, And I think we are evolving, we are changing, we are transforming as a species. And this shows like us at community level, at national level, and then a global level, and there are incidents all over the world like this that will bring us closer together within this stream of unity consciousness, and feeling like being like, no matter where you are in the world, you feel like you belong, and your home is where you are.
Yes.
And everything is going to reflect that. Yeah.
I'm so glad that I asked you this question. And to be honest with you, in my book I published in 2020, Crystal Cloud, I mentioned about the resurrection of Hawaii, about the resurrection of people of Hawaii, how they take their independence back from US, they take their lands back from the big corporations, and they work with Mother Nature and the spirits of land to cleanse the lands and bring them back to life. So it's like I had a premonition that something like this can happen. And I know it was a message not from me, but from a higher consciousness for sure, because the messages I have in my books, they are all coming to fruition or coming to life. And sometimes it's scary, but at the same time, I have to embrace the fact that this was the message that is supposed to go out ahead of time, so people get some awareness.
Yeah, it's interesting how we evolve, right? And I feel like in the future, as a species, as a collective consciousness, we will actually choose, because everything is a collective agreement, more like less harder experiences, not evolve through hardships and sacrifice, but evolve through acceptance and unification.
Yes, and we know that the planet is going through major changes. Will Hawaii be protected by this energy field you mentioned, or it will also go through the same shift in terms of land mass and what's going on there?
What's interesting is like Hawaii is very protected by spirit there. And even if we see that, there are so many billionaires living in Kauai. For example, in Kauai, there is no land to sell anymore. If you want to buy land and build a house, there is no way. There's nothing there, and there is this, the reason the billionaires and, all these people are interested of these islands is not because there is a paradise outside of the island of United States of America. It's just because of the energy that is there and the frequency that is there. So they are going there for a reason. And also the reason is, in case of like something is happening on this planet at the global level, they are protected in Hawaii because the spirit protects. But the spirit is actually very wise. They are not protecting everyone. They are protecting the ones that are aligning with the values and the culture. And, if you are in your heart consciousness, they protect you. So, on these islands, like in all other islands, there is, many people are visiting Hawaii. Very few are actually staying, because there is a sorting and sifting. It's like, if the island is keeping you, it's because you have a purpose there. But if you don't have a purpose and you are just there to take and not give anything, it's like the spirit is going to take you out. And, you know, for the ones that they are insisting staying, you know, through all these people that they build so many mansions and so on, their life is not great because they are not aligned, you know. So even if we see that is great, it's just not great, because I know how spirit works there, and spirit is very precise, you know, like it's not like how to say, like a sort of innocence that is not. The spirit is very evolved there, you know, everything is breathing life. So I feel like in the future, no matter how things will change on this planet, and no matter what's going to happen, the Hawaiian Islands are very protected. And they will always continue being protected, not by the energetic spheres and the technology that is there, but by the spirit, which is very powerful. So, you know, we have seen in the past years, it was like a huge storm in Kauai that wiped out a lot. And during that storm, they actually closed the airport. Nobody was flying to Kauai. Also, you know, during the pandemic, nobody was flying to Hawaii anymore. So when spirit has had enough, you know, there are storms and hurricanes and things are like wiped out. So for the ecosystem, because, you know, the Hawaiian has an incredible ecosystem. There are the whales are giving birth in Maui, the turtles are giving birth, the dolphins are there. So, you know, it is still keeping the purity of how Earth was before. But all these animals, the oceanic life is coming to Hawaii because of the frequency, you know, and because, you know, they also in Kauai, there is a portal where, you know, souls are coming. You know, there is a portal that souls are coming in the physical body and are exiting. So there is a portal for rebirth and portal for exiting in Kauai Island. So it's a very powerful place, you know, like many people, this is why there are so many retired people. They go there in Kauai to die. But why? You know, because there is a portal that is helping an easy exit, you know, towards. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Interesting. And talking about portals and energy vortexes, we both know that Romania is very potent in energetically, and especially the Bucegi Mountains. Have you visited any particular portals in Romania that you can mention, of course?
Yes, so Romania is very fascinating, and I'm just so excited that I came back. Like I'm gonna stay for the winter here. So actually, we moved from Maui after the wildfires. So after helping everyone, the spirit was very precise. You have to leave the island because you are not serving here anymore. So we landed back in Romania. For me, after you know, more than 15 years of not being and living here. And the first thing I've done when I arrived here is going up to Bucegi, the Sphinx, and meditate there, because that's an incredible portal. And what's happening here in this country is just beyond expression, if I can say like that, because there are 7 chakras, 7 energetic centers of 15 that exist on this planet. And I feel like Romania is and will gonna be a very developed spiritual hub of planet Earth. So yes, I have visited some of the centers like Sarmisegetuza and Shinkaveche as well, and I want to go to other places. But it's just incredible, the energetic field here and how rejuvenated I feel. You know, I'm a high vibrational being. I can't just stay in New York or LA or, you know, I either have to be on an island in Hawaii or on a grid that is actually serving me and my evolutionary process. And this grid here in Bucegi Mountain is really amazing. Like I'm very sensitive. When I came back last time from New York, like 3 weeks ago, I was just celebrating how incredible this land feels here, because it's very rare nowadays to find like portals like this, or like this of rejuvenation. But Romania is a very fascinating journey, and I feel like my next step, probably when I'm able to access it, I don't know if in winter because now it's snowing here, to go to Gura Raiului, or the mouth of heaven, because that's an interdimensional portal right there, and I'm curious to experience it. So Yes, this is so exciting for me. I'm just so beyond blessed that I'm here and to going and visiting and exploring and anchoring light, but also receiving more information about these portals and how we can actually help.
Yes, yeah, and it's not only that it's a beautiful country from a energetic point of view, but from landscape, it has everything one can imagine and visit, from seaside to mountains and hills and everything in between. And yes, we have to say that we've been blessed to be born in that country, even if the life situation moved us away. But I think, as you mentioned, with a purpose, because maybe you and I couldn't have had the chance to meet on a podcast, and for me to evolve spiritually the way I evolved so far in Romania. And maybe I needed this North American environment with um, the group I am with right now, in order to open myself up, open my heart to what's next.
Yes, yes, but coming back here, Claudiu, is just so fascinating for me because I'm actually connecting with a country that is completely new and different, and it's exciting. I'm seeing from a different perspective, and because of my journey that I have taken as well, living in Europe, I lived in Asia, then I moved to United States. I actually lived in all continents except Africa, where I don't feel guided to live at the moment. Who knows, maybe if the ancient Egypt is going to be activated and the frequencies there are going to be, supportive for my mission, maybe one day. I do feel like I have a mission in the Middle East, definitely. So, my mission continues. But yes, it's very exciting, and I my journey was the same. I had to leave the country. I lived in Ireland for 8 years. I lived in Germany, and then I moved to Asia, and then I moved to United States, and coming back from Asia back to United States, and now coming back to Europe after some time. So it's exciting, and everything, every step we are taking our journeys for our evolution and transformation.
Yes, it gives us a different perspective, because we are not bound to one country only and one culture only. We move around, and even if some people say you don't have the chance to put any roots, yes, you do put roots in one or two places, but traveling and living here and there for a year or two, again, enlarges your perspective, and it gives you a much better understanding of who you are and the world at large.
100%. Yeah, we are inviting our listeners to follow their heart.
Livia, in the last 10, 12 years, a lot of indigo children have been born on Earth. They might be called by other names as well, but some of them are known as indigo children, and they are aware from an early age of their purpose in this existence. Schooling means nothing to them, because they are a higher level of consciousness that cannot be contained by a formal educational system. And they seem so mature. Are you in contact with such beings?
Yes, I am, and I feel that we need to create some sacred spaces for their evolution. And I feel like this is where fifth dimensional schools have to come into place within a network of globally. Because there are alternative schools each and there, but not everyone affords to go to an alternative school. So there are many indigo children like born in families that they don't afford to pay high, and they give this child to a public school. So I feel like in the future, and the future is now, like we don't have to wait so much time, as more as we are coming together and we are building these structures all around the planet, it's imperative necessary to have like public fifth dimensional schools where people and these children can actually not suppress their talents and their abilities and their gifts the way they are suppressed in public schools, the way it actually had happened with all of us, because we were the same, but we had to follow a different way of living and being. and what our parents were telling us. But as more indigo children are born from, conscious parents, but also even they are not conscious, they are very heart-centered and they are open to these new ideas. It's time to actually bring these children into an environment that they can blossom and they can actually contribute and cooperate and collaborate, because we are always looking at children as being, they don't know, they know nothing, and we need to teach them in order for them to know, when actually these children know more than you. And they're like pure channels, they are channeling source energies, they are channeling ascended masters, they are channeling information, and they're bringing some incredible things on this planet. I feel like we need to see children as the highest gift that, the divine gifted us, and, to see the master within the child, and for us to actually, serve these children and allow them to blossom and grow and expand and become, these incredible fifth dimensional beings that will actually teach us how to live our life, because they will be more advanced, because they are already, they are born with a different DNA coding. They are born with, all the chakra system activated. They are born with the light bodies activated. They are born like pure connection with source energy. Like they are to teach us, and we are here to guide them. The only thing that we are teaching them is introduce them to the third dimension that is very dense, that they never been before, or they are adapting. So we are showing them how to live into this third dimensional world, while they're teaching us how to create a better third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, So I definitely feel like there is time to create spaces for these incredible children.
Yes. And this is also a wake-up call for the parents to protect their children, not to say yes to anything the educational system puts in front of them. To push back if they feel that something is not right. Take the kids home, homeschooling if that's the last resort, but don't let the government brainwash your children and influence them or influence their way of thinking. I mean, this is, I think, the message that should go out to all parents.
100%. And I feel like it's time, to move from old structures of thinking, being, and existing into new ways. And I also feel for parents, for them to open up their consciousness and listen more to their children and what they have to say.
Yeah. Livia, 2023 was a very good year for you, both personally and professionally. If I say profession, for what you are doing in your field, what are your plans for 2024?
2024 is an incredible year of expansion and transformation. Is the year of number 8, which brings infinity and unity consciousness. So we will assist on this planet with a major event that will bring us at the collective level into 2024 in a different way. I love to see all the portals of ascension and how we are navigating reality at a collective level, and from month to month, from year to year, how much we are evolving and how many people are actually awakening. My plan for 2024 is to bring my beautiful programs and energy to more people. We are launching this month the 5th Dimensional Ascension School as well. We are doing programs of activating leaders in their soul mission. So we have a soul mission accelerator program, and I'm working with incredible entrepreneurs that they are expanding their mission, and they are building new things all over the world in well consciousness program. So I'm offering these incredible programs to the world, and offering opportunities and gateways for transformation and rapid ascension. Because for me, it's everything about acceleration. The way I was activated, that I moved through time and space, was very fast. So I have these codes that actually activate people and shifting their consciousness super fast in time and space. So because there is no time, for us to wait 5 years, 10 years until we get there. My programs are 3 months and 6 months, and people in 3 months are shifting their consciousness, and they're like, oh my God, everything happened in just 3 months, because we work in quantum time and space. In quantum time, 3 months is 3 years, while here is only 3 months in inner time. So we start to work in different ways with people. And I'm super excited because 2024 is going to be a very powerful year of expansion and co-creation. Co-creation and unification, and for me the most important thing in expanding my mission is co-creating with beautiful aligned beings of light and coming together. You know, I feel like there are so many incredible powerful beings on this planet that actually are doing their mission on their own, and I feel like 2024 is coming together, anchoring communities, building structures, like, you know, unifying, like literally building more than we have done before. And I'm excited because I know that some magical, incredible things and alignments are on the way, you know, towards us.
Thank you for sharing. Good luck with all your plans. And because we are approaching the end of the interview, any final thoughts?
Well, you know, what I would love to let everyone with is to not be afraid to make a change in their life, no matter how small that change is. I know that change is terrifying because, you know, we are used to actually, it's actually nice and cozy into the comfort zone. And when we change, we actually move from our comfort zone into a new territory. But allow your adventurous spirit to, you know, to flourish and to follow your heart, and to, you know, to understand that your time is now. It's not in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, or when you are going to retire. Your time is now. Give this gift to yourself of taking action now and making a change in your life right now, because everyone that is listening to us, I know that they are these incredible, magnificent beings that they want to make a change. If they want to let a mark on this planet, they want to create, you know, they want to create a legacy. They want to create generational wealth. They want to let something behind, a legacy that is more than their children. They want to come together, you know, with people that let's do it together, you know. And I feel like I want to let your audience with this inspirational message, and also know that you are never alone. And, you know, if you ever feel alone, reach out to Claudiu, reach out to me. We have global communities, and you are always loved, helped, and supported. You are not doing this life alone, even if you believe so.
Yes. Thank you very much. It was a lovely conversation. I feel like we could have talked for hours. Maybe we'll do another interview in 2024 for an update. Livia, thank you very much, and all the best in 2024.
Thank you so much, Claudiu, for this beautiful invitation. It was so amazing having this conversation with you. I loved everything about it. I love your presence and everything we have shared here so far. And I wish you have an incredible end of the year with, you know, the solstice coming on December 21st, and then the Christmas and New Year's Eve. And enjoy, you know, and celebrate with your family and friends. And thank you again.
Thank you too. Thank you. And to my viewers, thank you for watching. Share it, like it. Visit spirituallyinspired.ca. ClaudiuMurgan.com also is a new website. And until next time, love and gratitude.